Hello there guys, glad to see you watching another video of mine. Welcome back to the Pride, and this is your Chelsea versus Frankfurt preview. Now in this preview, I'm going to do things a little bit different. I'm going to cover Sarri's press conference. I'm going to be talking about Ruben's comments and Reece James returning from loan from Wigan to train with the first team. Now this is fantastic news, and this is why I'm kind of hoping for the transfer ban, because finally the club will be forced to realize that we have talent within. We don't have to spend resources and money to bring players to help. We don't have to spend hundreds of millions to refurbish this squad. We don't have to go out and buy a Coutinho or a Dybala. We have players within the loan army that can come within and instantly make an impact on the team. And Reece James is just the latest example of that. Reece James has been killing it. Like I said, in the championship. And I mentioned Reece James because Sarri in his press conference stated that there are three players that he's already looking at, three young players that he's looking at to bring back on the squad. He didn't list them, but you can kind of assume. I'm going to let you guys assume which three players he's talking about. Reece James has already come back. He's already trained with the squad. So I already listed him down as one potential player. Obviously, Zuma is not a youth player, but I expect... Obviously, Kurt Zuma is not a youth player, but I expect Kurt Zuma to instantly come back and make the first team squad, because he had a fantastic season at Everton. And Chelsea, I believe, there's been reports that Chelsea have already made it clear that they're not selling Zuma, and they look to have him, include him into the squad for next season, as we will be competing for Champions League football. Other players that he could potentially bring back, which is the least likely, but Mason Mount as well. But I believe that I think Mason Mount is more than likely to spend another loan spell. Hopefully Derby County gets promoted to the Premier League, so maybe he can spend or extend his loan spell at Derby County and continue to grow on the Lampard. That would be my best suggestion for him, because right now, him finding a place on the team, even though I would love for him to play, I think another year or another loan spell will help him out greatly, especially if he plays on a Premier League team. You know, help give him that Premier League experience where he can play every game and continue to grow. But personally, I believe these are my three players that Mauricio Sarri are looking back to bring back into the squad, and that's obviously Reece James, Olaena, who's played at Torino, who's had a great season, who still needs... I wouldn't rush him back into the team, because I feel like he needs another loan spell. He's had a breakout year at Torino, but the games that I've watched, going forward is his best asset. But sometimes defensively, he gets caught ball watching, and but that's with youth. You're gonna make mistakes. But his tacklingness is great. He has a great tackling ratio, or tackling percentage. So, obviously he's efficient in tackling. And like I said, going forward, he's probably our best left back going forward, because he was key in Torino's attack, constantly bombing forward, constantly putting in crosses. Like I said, he had like a 25% crossing success rate, which is, I'm pretty sure Marcos Alonso is nowhere near that. He's probably somewhere around the 7%. I haven't checked, but I'm pretty confident that that's the case. By the way, if you see that going up and down, that's not me. That's actually what happened in the press conference. This is the live press conference that Mauricio Sarri had. Anyways, Sarri talked about Hudson-Odoi, Ruben, and all the youth players, that he doesn't mind using the youth. And I'm looking at players like Tammy Abraham, who's had a wonderful season at Aston Villa, and it's no shock to me that Wolves, Spurs, and other clubs are interested in buying this player on a permanent basis, because the guy, he is world class. For him, even if it is the championship, for his age, to be banging in the goals like this. Like I said, guys, this is the second consecutive season that he scored 25 goals or more in the league. So for me, you can't teach goal scoring. Like, some players just have that it factor. Like, you can just look at a player and like Jovic, for example. You can tell that Jovic in the next 4 or 5 years will probably be in contention for being the best striker in the world. He's already amongst Europe's best because he has 20 plus goals, and for a young 21-year-old striker, that is fantastic. He can go from here. So I think that the potential is looking bright. And like I said, either way the transfer appeal goes, either if we win it or not, whether it gets reduced or not, I don't really care how it goes, because I see bright spots in all the aspects when you actually look into it. Because either the transfer ban gets forced upon us, and we're forced to look at our loan players and use the youth and go that route, or if it does get appealed and we actually are able to, buy players, we can get rid of the deadwood on this team, and we can also, invest 200, 300 million on players like Dybala or Insigne or Icardi, players like that of that stature, Nicolas Pepe. So either way, like I said, it works out in our favor. We also have Pulisic coming back. Let's also discuss Sarri's comments on his current future at Chelsea. He's made it clear that he loves the English football, he loves the environment, he wants to stay at Chelsea, and he wants to help build something. He wants to be in England, and that's where he's currently happy with his situation here. It's been reported that Roma has been interested in him, even Inter. There's been rumors that Inter want him, and Napoli potentially bringing him back. It's been a lot of reports that I've been hearing. And moving forward to Ruben Loftus-Cheek's comments. And he started by they asked him a question not about the game, which I feel is very annoying that you're asking a player. I find it very annoying that you ask a player about club issues instead of, unless it's like directly involved with him, instead of asking him about the game. Now, he stated when they asked him about the transfer ban and how it's been, the Chelsea has been once again rejected for the second time. What does that mean for Chelsea and the future? And he was like, I don't know much about it because I'm focused on the game tomorrow. But he looks at it as, the way I looked at it is that this is great for youth to potentially get more game time, to actually have a chance to come up to play on the senior squad. And Ruben Ruben should be the prototype of us actually using youth and giving them a chance to play on a team. He stated that this is an opportunity for the players to discuss. They discussed Ruben's back problem, and with the next question they asked him about his back, and he stated that he's been eating better. He's been getting to the science of how to treat his body and how his body is, and starting to learn his body more. How can he help with the back problems and the chronic injuries that he's had throughout his career, and he feels like he's more comfortable. At least he feels that he's starting to understand his body better, and that he feels that he should not be considered as a youth player anymore. And he said himself, he's improved because he's been given game time, and he's been actually given the game time and the objective and challenges to improve. Sarri has a big role in Ruben Loftus-Cheek's development, and I said it a long time ago that when Ruben went to Mauricio Sarri and said that his best position is the number 8 position, and instead of patronizing him and chastising him, Mauricio Sarri actually gave him a goal and objective. And fair play to Ruben. He's accomplished that. He's improved a lot. And like I said, give this guy a full season of 40 to 50 plus games next season, and I guarantee you he will be considered one of the best midfielders in Europe. Guaranteed. Barring injury, he is that world class. And it's great to see, other youth players to look at Ruben and see that there is potential that they can come through the ranks. Only reason why he didn't leave, because a lot of people was telling him to leave and go. If you want to improve, if you want to grow as a player, you need to leave from Chelsea, because you're never going to get a chance to play on the first team. But because of his love of the team, because of his desire to play for Chelsea. You know, he's improved. He stayed true to himself, and he trusted in his abilities that he can actually break through the ranks. But getting into the Chelsea versus Frankfurt game, really I shouldn't have to go over tactics. You guys seen very well how Frankfurt like to set up. I do expect them to be more, you know, potent, should I say, going forward, because they will have Rebic and Sebastian Haller, who weren't available for the first leg, which I really feel like we should have killed that game off, because that was our best chance, you know. But I feel confident, you know, especially with us accomplishing Champions League football. I feel like the players will feel relieved and feel like they can go all out, because they've already qualified. So the game against Leicester on the weekend, it won't really, I wouldn't say it wouldn't matter as much, but you know, they can kind of put that behind them and really focus on the Europa League semis. And you know, our squad, it is at least good enough to win the Europa League. You know, we made it. We've really improved from the beginning of the season all the way up until this point. You know, I stated that if it's one thing that we've improved on, it's playing through the back, and uh and playing through the press. You know, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he's so great at you know, being able to push up defenders and shove off defenders. And he's very press resistant, and that really helps us out a lot in our midfield area. When you have players like Jorginho, have a player like Jorginho who really relies on his partnership in midfield. You know, Kante is always going to be an ox in the midfield, and Ruben, he's that player that, you know, he can pass to, as opposed to Barkley, who's not press resistant, who kind of crumbles under pressure. You know, I'm sorry to say, but that's just who he is. You know, Kovacic is a little bit better, and it's more than likely that he's gonna play because Kante is out. You know, Sarri said in his press conference that he's not playing. So, you know, only way that he is playing is a hopeful to return is if we make it to the final, which I'm pretty confident. Like I said, we got the away goal, and all we need is a clean sheet. You know, I know that's very unlikely in on this for this Chelsea squad, but you know, hey, it is what it is. I think that if we can just kill the game off, get the first goal. It's important that we get the first goal, because they're gonna come at us hard, and I think that we're gonna not sit back, but we're gonna be a bit like how we were in the first leg, where we didn't allow our fullbacks to press bomb forward as soon as possible. Right? We sat back. We had our fullbacks sit back a little bit and wait, allow them to get that pressure, because they're not going to be able to press us for a full 90 minutes. They're just not, and especially if we go to extra time. So, you know, expect the game within the first 25-30 minutes to be a bit rough, but as the game progresses on, we will continue to find our flow, and, you know, be able to move the ball more, and Ruben will be able to expect Ruben to attack those half spaces and inbound. Expect Ruben to roam around in those half spaces as the game wears on, because, like I said, there will be more space for us to attack, because they are not going to be able to press us high. They're going to come at us. That's how Frankfurt play. They're going to come at us the first 15-20 minutes as hard as they can, and, you know, try to get an early goal for them, and so they can sit back and counterattack and hold the pressure and stay compact. So look forward to that. You know, this is gonna be an interesting game. Like I said, it's not gonna be an easy game, but we can do it. And yeah, I have a lot more news for you guys, but I'm gonna end it as I get ready for the Ajax versus Tottenham game. Fantastic game, and if you want an example of how we want to be in the next 4 or 5 seasons, just look at Liverpool, guys. I don't care who you are. As a neutral, that is the passion and fire and desire that we want from our players to show. That's the fire and passion that we want our players to show. You know, win or lose. You know, I'm pretty sure even if the Liverpool players didn't go through, and Barca got the goal, I think that Liverpool fans, they will have so much positivity about that match, because that wasn't about tactics. Like Mourinho said, it wasn't about tactics. It was about heart. And Jurgen Klopp has a great group of players down there that believe in him and believe in his system and willing to fight for the badge, man. And you know that's something that we missed out on because we don't have leadership like that within our locker room. We don't have the players like that in our locker room. Our players are soft, you know. We want to bring guys up the ranks like Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, he's a young player, 20 years old, but he's up there with the best already. And if you're good enough, you're old enough. I'm tired of this notion that Sarri was saying Hudson Odoi was too young. He's only 18. No, he was good enough to play on the first team. If you're good enough, you play. That's one thing that I didn't agree upon with Sarri. He was a bit stubborn, but he seems to have come around to it. I think that he was really protecting the players mentally because maybe tactically he knew that they were good enough, or technically they were good enough, but maybe especially how our emotional fans are. Sometimes we can be a bit rash in our decision making and booing him and stuff. You don't want young players to. Anyways, guys, this has been a bit of a ramble, a longer review than I expected. And I didn't really cover everything I wanted to cover, but if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, and let's go get that Europa League trophy to put a cherry on the top of a fantastic start of a new era, and up the chills forever and always. Let's go see Tottenham lose today.